What is up, guys, and welcome back to another YouTube tutorial. My name is Mohabi, and in today's video I want to show you guys how to configure your virtual switch in your Hyper-V Manager so that we can provide network access to our virtual machines. So to get started, let's open Server Manager. To do that, click on your Start menu, then click on Server Manager. In your Server Manager, under the Dashboard option, if you scroll down, you will see Roles and Server Groups. These are all the roles that you have installed on your server. So if you take note, you will see the Hyper-V role. To open up Hyper-V Manager, click on Tools. And under Tools, select the option Hyper-V Manager. This will open the Hyper-V Manager console. And in your console, you will see the server name where the Hyper-V is installed. So in this demonstration, I want to configure the virtual switch so that we can create a virtual network that will provide network access to all our virtual machines. So to do that, under the Actions tab, let's click on Virtual Switch Manager. This will open up the Virtual Switch Manager for Hyper-V Server. And in this window, you will see Virtual Switches, and under this tab, this is where you're going to see all the virtual switch networks that you have created. Below that, you will see Global Network Settings. This will show you the MAC address range. And if you take a look on the right-hand side of your window, you will see Create Virtual Switch. Now, there are three types of virtual network switches that you can create, which is external, internal, and also private. An external network just means that all the virtual machines that you create within this Hyper-V can communicate with other virtual machines, external computers, and also the host machine. So if you look at the explanation below regarding external switch, you will note that it says creates a virtual switch that binds to the physical network adapter so that virtual machines can access a physical network. So basically, if you were to create this external virtual switch, that means all the virtual machines will have access to the physical network adapter of the host machine. Now, let's have a look at internal virtual network switch. With this type of network, that means all the virtual machines within this Hyper-V server can communicate with each other and also the host machine. But they can't communicate with any external devices that are connected to your network. So basically, this internal virtual network switch doesn't attach your physical network adapter of your host machine to your virtual machines. Now, let's have a look at the explanation below regarding internal virtual switch. It says that it creates a virtual switch that can only be used only by the virtual machines that run on this physical computer and between the virtual machines and physical computer. An internal virtual switch does not provide connectivity to physical network connection. So, like I said, this doesn't attach the physical network adapter of the host machine to the virtual machines. And for the last option, which is private virtual switch. This type of connection only creates communication between virtual machines only. The virtual machines will not be able to communicate with the host machine. So, let's have a look at the explanation below regarding private virtual switch. It says that it creates a virtual switch that can only be used by virtual machines that run on this physical computer. That means if you create a private virtual network switch, only virtual machines that are installed on that Hyper-V server can communicate with each other and not the host machine or external devices. A physical or imaginary network adapter is not attached to the virtual machines, hence they cannot communicate with the host machine or external devices. So for this demonstration, I will be creating an external virtual network switch. So let's click on External and then click on the button Create Virtual Switch. So once you click the button Create Virtual Switch, you will see all the virtual switch properties. But before we configure any of these options, I want to show you guys the current network adapter of my server. So to do that, I'm going to click on the Start menu and then I'm going to select the application Control Panel. This will open up your Control Panel application, and from your Control Panel, let's click on Network and Internet. Under Network and Internet, let's click on Network and Sharing Center. Under Network and Sharing Center, you will see View your basic network information and set up connections. Now in the Network and Sharing Center window, you will see more details about your network connectivity. So if you look on your far left, you will see Control Panel Home, Change Adapter Settings, and also Change Advanced Sharing Settings. We are going to click on Change Adapter Settings. And if you take note, I only have one network adapter, which is Ethernet 2. So as soon as I create a virtual switch, that virtual switch will appear under my network connections as a virtual network. So I just wanted to show you guys that currently I only have one network adapter, and as soon as I start creating my virtual switch, all my virtual switch adapters will appear under this window. So let's continue and create our virtual network switch. So I'm going to minimize this window, and I'm also going to minimize the Network and Sharing Center window. This will take us back to the Virtual Switch Manager for Hyper-V Server. So now we have to configure our external virtual network switch. The first option is to give your virtual switch a name. So I'm going to name my virtual switch External-Switch. So delete the new virtual switch name and give your virtual switch a name that you can identify the virtual switch when you want to attach it to your virtual machines. And below, you will see Notes. You can use this window to document any changes that you make to the virtual switch. So for this demonstration, I'm not going to include any notes for this virtual switch. And below that, you will see Connection Type. You will note that External Network has been automatically selected for us because this is the network option that we want to create for our virtual machines. So under External Network, you will see my network adapter name. If you click on the drop-down menu, and if you have more than one network adapters, you will see all your network adapters listed below. So I'm going to click anywhere on the window. Below your network adapter name, you will see a checkbox next to the Allow Management Operating System to share this network adapter. Basically, this option allows your Hyper-V Manager to share the network adapter settings to your virtual machines. This will help for the connection of your virtual machines with external devices and also the host machine. And below this option, you will see Enable Single Root I/O Virtualization. If you enable this option, this will allow the virtual machines to bypass the Virtual Switch Manager settings that you have selected for your virtual machines, and this will allow your virtual machines to communicate directly with the network adapter of your host machine. I am not going to select this option for this demonstration. I am going to leave everything as default. If you take note, all I did was to add a name for our virtual switch. So I'm going to select the button Apply. And once I click Apply, a Pending Changes May Disrupt Network Connectivity window appears. And in this window, it just explains that this computer may lose its network connection while the changes are applied. This may affect any network operations in progress. These changes may also override some static changes. If that happens, you must reapply the static changes to restore network connectivity. Do you want to continue? So before I continue, in my previous video, I didn't want to create a virtual network switch so that I can show you guys this pop-up window. Basically, what is going to happen once I click Yes, this will create a new network adapter, which will be our external virtual network switch. So guys, there's one more thing I also want to do before I continue. I want to show you the current IP address settings of this server using the command prompt application. So let's open up our command prompt by clicking on the Start menu and then type in CMD. This will look for the command prompt application, open the app, and once the command prompt application opens up, I'm going to type in the command ipconfig so that I can see the current IP address settings for my server. Now press enter. And my current IP address of my server is 192.168.1.110. I'm going to minimize this window. And now in this pop-up window, I'm going to click on Yes. And now guys, the external virtual network switch has been created successfully. So I'm going to select the button OK. And now to confirm if the network adapter has been created, I'm going to click on the control panel window that I minimized earlier and then select network connections. And now under network connections, I now have two network adapters. One is Ethernet 2, which is my physical network adapter, and also vEthernet external switch, which is the virtual network switch that we just created in our Hyper-V. So guys, let's have a look at the changes that have taken place on our network adapters. So starting with the Ethernet 2, I'm going to right click on the network adapter, then select Properties. Under Properties, you will note that a lot of options have been unchecked and only two options have been selected, which is your Microsoft LLDP protocol driver and also your Hyper-V extensible virtual switch. So if I click on IPv4, you will note that the Properties option has been grayed out. The reason for that, all the options have been migrated to the external virtual switch. So in this window, I'm going to click OK. And then let's have a look at the vEthernet external switch properties. Right click on the network adapter and then select Properties. Under Properties, now you will note that IPv4 has been checked and we can have a look at the settings of our IP address. So click on Properties. And for this demonstration, my IP address settings were migrated from my Ethernet 2 network adapter to my vEthernet external network switch. So that means I don't have to do any configuration for my network settings for this server. And if your settings changed, all you have to do is re-enter your information from the command prompt application to regain access or network connectivity to your server. So for this demonstration, I'm going to leave all these options as default and then click on OK. Then click on the button Close. And I'm going to close this window and also this control panel window. And now back to the Hyper-V Manager. Let's click on Virtual Switch Manager. And now under your virtual switches, you should see External Switch, which is the virtual network switch that we just created for our virtual machines. So if I click on this option, you will see all the options that we have configured. So guys, that is it for this video. In this demonstration, I just wanted to show you guys how to create an external virtual network switch, how to name your virtual switch, and which options to select for your virtual switch, the changes that took place within my server under network connections, and also to show you the current network information of my server. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your comments or suggestions in the comment section below. Share the video or the channel with a friend or two. Like the video. And lastly, click on the subscribe button for more. And I will see you guys on the next video. Remember, each one, teach one.